Good evening and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Ngozi Okoye. President Muhammadu Buhari has pledged to prioritize the security of lives and property of Nigerians. In a statement signed by presidential spokesman Garba Shehu, the president gave the pledge at a meeting with Katsina senior citizens in his hometown, Daura. According to the statement, President Buhari also asked Nigerians to be prepared to offer sacrifices for the progress of the nation. His comments come at a time when Nigeria has been battling insecurity issues in many parts of the country. Meanwhile, the Nigerian police say they have arrested 3 suspects in connection with attacks in Zomi local government area of Zamfara state. The death toll in the attack, which occurred last Wednesday, is still conflicting, although the police in the state said 18 people were killed by bandits, but witnesses put the death toll at a much higher figure. In a statement late on Sunday, the Nigerian police said 3 suspects are in its custody. The statement adds that the suspects are assisting police in its investigation and will be charged to court soon. 5 Nigerian police officers who were accused of killing Boko Haram's founder, Mohammed Yusuf, while in their custody have been reinstated. The officers were charged with committing a terrorist attack and unlawfully killing the Islamist group's spiritual head during days of unrest in the northeast city of Maiduguri in July 2009. The clashes, in which about 800 Boko Haram followers were killed, prompted an escalation in violence that has since left at least 20,000 dead and made over 2.6 million more homeless. A judge in Abuja in late December 2015 acquitted the policemen on the grounds the prosecution could not establish a case against them. The ruling attracted little publicity at the time. A spokesman for the Police Service Commission, Ike Chukwani, confirmed that the officers were now back on the beat. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government has released a total of 475 Boko Haram suspects who were found not guilty in a week-long mass trial. The 475 individuals were part of over 1,000 suspects tried at a military facility in central Nigeria's town of Kainji, Niger State. A statement for the Ministry of Justice said the suspects were freed after the prosecution council failed to provide sufficient evidence against them. The 4 judges who sat in the special courts established to fast-track the cases and also ordered that the 475 inmates be rehabilitated before reintegrated into the society. Femi Falana, a human rights lawyer, has requested the Nigerian Bar Association NBA to investigate the attorney generals in various states for their refusal to prosecute murder suspects. In a letter addressed to Abubakar Mahmood San, NBA president, Falana asked the association to probe the state attorneys for failing to investigate criminal elements engaged in the reckless killing of innocent citizens in the country. He said it is disturbing that the NBA has failed to monitor the prosecution of the scores of murder suspects arrested by the police or indicted by panel of inquiry set up by the federal and state governments to probe violent civil disturbances in the country. The Kano state government on Monday says the footage showing underage persons voting reportedly during the Kano local government polls was recorded during the March 30, 2015 general elections conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. It said the exercise depicting the illegality was never conducted by the state electoral body. The latest government stand comes barely 24 hours after the state electoral body said it is ready for the INEC investigation into the matter. In the aftermath of the public outcry that greeted the footage, INEC had quickly absolved itself, saying its voters register, which should have been used for the Kano polls, did not contain underage voters. Meanwhile, some Nigerians have been mobilizing people to vote in the upcoming 2019 general elections. A coalition of civil society organizations under the umbrella of One Voice Nigeria on Friday held a rally in Lagos to mobilize people to voting age to register and get their voters card. Tagged My Voice, My Vote, the march from the National Stadium to the INEC office in the city, calling on Nigerians to come out in their numbers and get their voters card ahead of the 2019 general elections.
Gathered here are various civil society groups who have come out for a single purpose: to call on the general public to register to vote in next year's general election.
We just want to have a voice. We just want to be able to, we want them to have to reckon with us. We want them to have to check with us if they're giving somebody a ticket to run for office. We want them to have to check with us to say, you know what, are the policies that we are doing, is it favoring the people of Nigeria? The power belongs to the people, but for decades, for so many years, we've done the same thing. So we've given up that power. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the people to take that power back.
Carrying placards of various inscriptions, the group set out in their numbers, walking through the streets and encouraging everyone they meet to ensure they register, get their voter's card, and vote in the upcoming elections. They soon arrive at their destination, and already waiting for them are some officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
We are here officially at the INEC office to convey to you our support for your civic registration exercise going on, your continuous voter registration exercise, and also to help in mobilizing voters to register.
The biggest thing we're doing with voter, there are two parts of it. One, people are registering so they can sell their vote. But at the end of the day, we're telling people that until you, and because you sell your vote on election day, you wait for 4 more years to do it again. The point is, if you invest in the process and you stand, and it's not about, this campaign is very non-partisan, so we don't care who it is, but we're saying, get your voter's card and use that to help even political parties determine who it is they put on the ballot. Because, Banky W just gave a challenge. Imagine if 100,000 people say, you know what, in this Surulere local government, this is the type of person we want to represent us in the National Assembly. He must be someone of credibility, must have shown capacity, a track record that shows that he can serve, and we begin to demand who we think represents us. But we're doing that by showing that we have the power to vote. You can talk all you want, but if politicians know that you can't vote and you won't vote, you don't matter. So that's why this is really driven around registration.
Let's get new voters in. Let's get people who've never voted before, people who are frustrated, people who don't believe they can ever be changed. Let's get them involved. We want 100,000 people to convince 10 people each to vote. That will give us 1 million new voters. Now, if you get more than 10, if you get 20, better. If you get 50, even better. If you get 100 people to register to vote from today, February 16th, the first 100 people to get 100 new voters registered will get 10,000 naira each. And that's the first thing that we're starting with.
This rally is about, encouraging people to go out to vote. Go and vote. Go and get your voter's card and vote so that you have a voice.
The 2019 general elections have been scheduled for February 2019. INEC is currently conducting a voter registration exercise. The Commission says it has registered around 71 million people so far, but it is hoping to register around 80 million before the election. However, quite a number of those who have registered have not gone to collect their cards. It is part of what this group is hoping to change and ensure greater turnout in the elections.
The federal government has queried Ibrahim Magu, acting chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and Festus Keyamo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, over the corruption charges filed against Danladi Umar, chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Magu was asked to explain what informed the filing of corruption charges against the tribunal chairman, having been cleared of corruption allegations on 2 occasions. While Keyamo was asked to explain in detail of who engaged or issued him with the authority to file the corruption charges. Both men were given till February 20, 2018 to reply the query. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has approved the payment of 30,000 naira as monthly stipend to ready set work RSW interns who have been placed in various organizations for 6-month paid internship. The governor also approved 8 million naira in seed funding for the top 5 winners of the RSW Business Pitch Competition, whose businesses will be placed in incubation while the beneficiaries will commence their internships and incubation respectively on March 1, 2018. The interns are part of the 2,000 final year students from 6 tertiary institutions in the state who took part in the 2017 edition of the 13-week Intensive Entrepreneurship and Employability Training Program. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has fixed February 26 as the date for the 2018 Mock Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME. Fabian Benjamin, the board's head, Media and Information, who disclosed this, also said a total of 247,753 of the 1.6 million candidates that registered for this year's UTME are expected to write the test. The main UTME is expected to hold nationwide from March 9 to March 17.
Corruption not in my country.
Madam, madam, welcome. Okay, madam, no worry. When you deliver the balance, we'll give you the goods.
No problem, no problem. All right, so now well done.
Thank you.
Hey, Oga, I still say she don't bring money. Maybe we'll use this one for him now.
She wants mahogany, not white wood.
Oga, our work now to join wood together, deliver whatever to customer. Put the remaining profit for pocket.
Abba, this is corruption, not in my country. Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. And to business news, Nigerian Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun has called for the designation of tax malpractices by multinational corporations in Nigeria and other developing countries as foreign corrupt practices. She made the call at the Platform of Collaboration on Tax (PCT) conference in New York, which rounded off over the weekend. The PCT is an initiative of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, World Bank Group, International Monetary Fund, and United Nations. The minister explained that Nigeria was doubly affected by illicit financial flows as a result of corruption and tax evasions. She requested global organizations to see the tax avoidance actions of multinational companies as corrupt practices. The Lagos State government has announced a ban on cash payment in revenue collection. The ban, which was announced by the state governor, Akinwumi Ambode, on Monday, is effective from March 1, 2018. He said the measure was aimed at improving on service delivery to residents of the state and as well block all revenue leakages. Ambode explained that the new payment format must be adhered to by all government ministries, agencies, parastatals, associated companies, and units. They are to pay through InterSwitch Limited and all other multi-layer platforms. The Nigeria stock market has started off the trading week in reds as it depreciated by 1.53%. The composite all share index was down 650.65 basis points to close the day at 41,988.18 as against 42,638.83 basis points of last traded session. The market capitalization also saw a difference of over 200 billion to close at 15.068 trillion naira. Some of the gainers for the day include International Brewers, Guarantee Trust Bank, Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, and Fitson Healthcare PLC. On the loser side, with some of the big names in the stock market like Nestle, Dangote Cement, Nigeria Brewers, and PZ Cussons PLC topping, it just had to be a bear run. The four top traders in terms of volume were strictly the financial sector, having Sky Bank, Diamond, First City Monument Bank, and Jaiz Bank. The market activities saw 4,646 deals in 287.175 million shares, exchanged 2.386 billion on the floor of the exchange. And to foreign news now, cholera cases in Malawi have tripled and 4 more people have died a month after the spread of the disease from Zambia was thought to have been contained. Ministry of Health spokesman Joshua Malango said the number of cases had increased to 527 from 157 recorded in January and the death had doubled from 4 to 8. He said new cases continue to emerge in central and northern Malawi districts, including the administrative capital, Lilongwe, where 10 new cases were recorded at the weekend. Reports say at least 17 people died and several others were injured in Mozambique capital early on Monday when a 15-meter pile of garbage collapsed due to heavy rain and buried 7 houses. The collapse happened at around 3 a.m. in the impoverished Holane neighborhood, which is around 10 kilometers from the center of Maputo. The houses were built illegally and authorities have previously asked the residents to leave. Land pressure in many African cities leads some people to squat on land they do not own as they seek higher wages available in urban centers. The dwellings are sometimes built on land that is marginal or unsafe. And to sports now, Kano Pillars have paid tribute to its late defender Chinedu Udoji, who died on Sunday night. The 29-year-old was killed in road crash after competing in the Football League match. Udoji also represented Enyimba for more than 7 years and captained the club to 2 league titles and 2 Federation Cups. His former club have also sent their condolences to his family and friends. The first edition of the Nigeria Football Federation Awards will be held in Lagos on Monday. FIFA President Gianni Infantino and his CAF counterpart Ahmed are expected on a night which will see several top awards handed out. Chelsea Victor Moses is favorite for Men's Player of the Year award, while Asisat Oshoala is the big favorite in the women's category. Other awards which will be handed out are the Coach of the Year Men, Coach of the Year Women, Young Player of the Year Men, Young Player of the Year Women, Team of the Season, Fair Player Award, Goal of the Season, Fan of the Season, NFF Development Award, and Platinum Award categories. There will also be special recognition of a Legend 11, a squad of outstanding former Nigeria international players. Roger Federer celebrated his return to the top of the world rankings by winning the Rotterdam Open on Sunday, his 97th career title. The 36-year-old, the oldest number 1 in history, thrashed Bulgarian Grigor Dimitrov 6-2, 6-2 in a one-sided final. In the Open era, only American Jimmy Connors has won more titles with 109. And that's it on News Now on TV360. I am Ngozi Okoye. Thank you for watching.